Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Ian and this is Jane, and
Hi.
We are reviewing Edinburgh Fringe. If it's the first time we've been here, all of the other videos that we've done so far linked down below. This is day 2, our first full day, and this is show number 4?
No, 5, I think.
I think this is show number 4.
Oh, no, yeah, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
It's show number 4.
Number 5 comes later. And this is Irvine Welsh's Porno. Now I picked this mainly because I read the book. Let me just give you the background or what the telling is about. It's a world premiere stage adaptation inspired by the sequel to the cult classic Trainspotting. 15 years after Trainspotting, what has become of Renton, Sickboy, Spud and Begbie. Disturbing, shocking and extremely funny. Now, if you've ever seen Trainspotting or Trainspotting 2, Trainspotting 2 is not porno. There are some elements of it, but really that's not the film of the book. This is very much the book, the story of the book. It's a 12 plus.
Ooh.
Which I think is a bit low.
Gosh, I do too.
Because there is some quite
strong language. The strongest,
very strong language.
Strongest language you could imagine.
Yeah. Lots of effing and jeffing, as we say. And there is also some explicit sexual descriptions, particularly by a female member of the cast.
Yes.
And
the men.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a recreation of a scene. So
I would think I wouldn't like to take my 12-year-old to it, if I'm honest.
No.
14 plus, probably.
At least.
Ideally 16. What did you think of it?
Well, I obviously was thinking it was going to be the film, Trainspotting 2.
Which you have seen.
Which I have seen. But then you said, actually, I think, I don't know whether this is going to be the film, but I think it's going to be the book. And the book is called Porno. And Trainspotting 2 is not porno, which obviously I didn't understand at the time. But now I understand. And yeah, I mean, it's very well acted. I thought all the cast members were strong.
It's very, actually, you were talking to me about this and you said to me earlier that it's actually quite difficult for them because everybody knows Robert Carlyle as Begbie and everybody knows Renton as Ewan McGregor, and obviously Ewan Brenner as Spud. So it's quite difficult when we've had those characters for such a long time by those actors. For another bunch of actors to come in and put it onto the stage is really difficult for them. I thought they all did really well. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. It's really interesting when people laugh at what the bits that you think are really quite inappropriate or not that funny. I did think that the actor playing Begbie didn't have the threat that Robert Carlyle had in both films, and he almost came across as a slight caricature of it because some of it seemed to be played for laughs. Did you not think that?
I see what you mean. I'm trying to think. I didn't think that at the time. I mean,
It's not that I didn't like him. I did. I thought he was.
Yeah,
I thought he did a really fine job.
I mean, I knew obviously what his character is, and I think when he automatically came on stage, I think he to me he was a threatening character.
Right.
But probably maybe because I knew that he was supposed to be. I mean, I did find him quite threatening.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was. I thought it was an excellent adaptation of the book, which is, like I say, a slightly different story. And we're not giving anything away. The reason it's called Porno is because they have a scheme to make a porno movie, and that isn't giving anything away. But I thought it was an excellent piece of work. really, and a really good adaptation, having read the book. You know, it's a while since I read the book when it first came out, because I bought it right at the beginning, so it's a long time since I've actually read it, and I couldn't remember the ending. You know, but I thought it was for them to actually get as much of it as they could into 1 hour.
Yeah. Well, it was actually just over.
Oh,
it was an hour and 15. I think, wasn't it? Is it an hour and 15?
An hour and 10.
Hour and 10.
Yeah. So I didn't feel like an hour and 10 actually.
No, it went. And you're right. You almost thought you were seeing. I mean, you saw a whole. I mean, obviously you saw a whole play, but there was so much in it that, like, you're right. It was almost as you were watching something over sort of, I don't know, a couple of hours.
And I mean, I felt very sympathetic towards Spud. I mean, and that comes across in the book actually. You know,
yeah, you do.
He's quite. He's quite sad now, 15 years later on. You know, I thought it was great.
Yeah. I think, and I don't know if you were going to talk about it, but and the venue. I mean, it's a big stage. They've got a lot of space. That's great, but we were packed in as an audience like sardines. It was really, really uncomfortable.
Actually, I wasn't going to say anything, but you're right. And actually, the guy behind me, just before the play started, said, "Why are we all packed in to the first?" I mean, it's still a preview, so it was probably about half full. Was the theatre, and we were packed into the first 5 or 6 rows.
Well, it was. I mean, we understand why they do it, but you know, and obviously there is a set process.
You could have a row, then a blank row, and then,
just everywhere you go, you're filled from the front.
Yeah.
But some places that you just feel that sort of you have slightly more space.
Yeah.
This was particularly. I've never felt.
It was very hot.
I actually put my mask on because.
I wore mine.
You were just absolutely packed in, and I think they must have known how many tickets
were sold.
And why we couldn't have been every other row, I don't know. But I suppose they can't just adjust it for one.
No, but they could spread them out a bit more. I mean, we've seen other shows where they, when they're not full now, because we're still right at the beginning of the Fringe. People are allowed to sit where they like. We had that earlier today, actually, a couple of shows where we were allowed to sit literally where you wanted to sit, which was lovely. I would have preferred to sit further back and not not have somebody, you at one side and a woman, a guy crammed at the other side. It is worth mentioning, James sadly had a woman sat at the side of her and spent the whole hour and 10 minutes looking and on a phone, which was really, really irritating. And I mean, and I'm sorry, it sounds a bit of a rant here, but if you're going to go and see a play, watch the bloody play. Don't sit on your phone for an hour and 10 minutes. I mean, literally every 2 minutes we had the light, the reflective light of a phone. Anyway, I'm told, sorry about that. But it was worth mentioning that, I mean, why was she there?
I have no idea.
Which was ridiculous. I mean, anyway. It's on at the Pleasance Courtyard, Pleasance Beyond, and it's on at 4:50 every day throughout the Fringe. So I've just realised it wasn't on today, but it was.
Oh,
it's not down for today. Isn't that funny? 'Cause today's the 4th, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It starts tomorrow.
Well, except this, because on our seats were these little flyers, which is nice.
Which is nice, and it told you about who the background to every cast member.
And actually, on that it says third to the 28th.
I suspect yesterday and the 3rd, or yesterday and today were previews, but they're not down here on here. Anyway, it starts tomorrow properly. It's on right the way through the 28th. There's a couple of days where there's no show, which is the 15th and the 22nd. 2 for 1 days are 8th and 9th. And how many stars?
I give it a 4.
I think it's a really, really good 4. I think it's an excellent piece of work. Definitely worth seeing. You must, what Irvine Walsh's books are like, with the language. and all of that, and they portray that brilliantly, I think, really.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a thumbs up from us. So so thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you very shortly in the next one. Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Bye.